My mom texted, "We're not doing gifts for kids this year. It's too expensive." I believed her. Then I opened my sister's story. Her kids tearing into new iPads, a game console, and a $600 Lego set from Grandma and Grandpa. My daughter whispered, "Did I do something wrong?" I snapped a picture of the $1,800 transfer queued for their mortgage and typed, "Canceled. Treat it like my gift too." 20 minutes later, my mom started calling nonstop. "My name is Marcus Thompson. I am 36 years old. And for most of my adult life, I have been the family bank account that nobody bothers to thank." It started when I was 23, fresh out of college with my first real job as an IT consultant. My parents called one Tuesday night and said the water heater died. They needed $800. Could I help? I wired the money the next morning. Mom sent a text that said thanks with a smiley face. That was it. After that, the calls kept coming. The car transmission, the property taxes, the roof repair, the credit card bill when dad's overtime hours got cut. Somewhere in those years, helping stopped feeling like a choice. It became a routine. Every month, I logged into my banking app and sent money. Sometimes they asked. Sometimes they just expected it to arrive. My sister Caroline never had to do any of this. She is 3 years younger than me, married to a man named Brendan who works in pharmaceutical sales. They have 3 kids. Tyler is 9. Madison is 7. Emma is 5. My parents talk about them like they hung the moon. Every holiday dinner, every birthday party, every casual conversation somehow loops back to how smart Tyler is, or how sweet Madison is, or how funny Emma is. Caroline lives 20 minutes from our parents. She visits every weekend. She drops the kids off for sleepovers and movie nights. She gets invited to lunch dates and shopping trips. When she walks into a room, my mother's entire face changes. Her voice goes up an octave. She laughs louder. She hugs longer. When I walk into a room, my mother barely looks up from her phone. I have a daughter too. Her name is Lily. She just turned 7 last month. She has curly brown hair and freckles across her nose. She loves drawing animals on printer paper and taping them to the fridge. She asks me questions about why the ocean is salty and whether stars ever get lonely. When she laughs, it sounds like the best thing I have ever heard. My parents have seen her 6 times in 7 years. Twice at Christmas, once at a cousin's wedding, 3 times when I drove 2 hours to visit and sat in their living room drinking lukewarm coffee while they scrolled through photos of Caroline's kids on their phones. Lily never got a sleepover. She never got a special lunch date. Last year, my parents forgot her birthday entirely. No card, no call, nothing. When I reminded my mother a week later, she just said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Things have just been so busy." But I kept paying the mortgage. $1,800 every single month for the last 4 years. They refinanced when Dad's job situation got shaky and the bank needed proof of income support. I co-signed. I have been covering the payment ever since. They never asked if it was hard for me. They just sent the payment reminders like clockwork. I told myself this was normal. Some families are just like this. Some people give more. Some people take more. That is how it works. December came in cold and sharp. Lily had been talking about Christmas since the Halloween decorations came down. She made a list on green construction paper and used glitter glue to draw stars around the edges. She wanted a dollhouse with furniture. She wanted new colored pencils and a big sketchbook. She wanted a book about emperor penguins because she saw a documentary and decided they were her favorite animal. She also asked if we could see Grandma and Grandpa on Christmas. I told her maybe. On December 8th, I was sitting at my kitchen table after work when my phone buzzed. It was a text from my mother. I opened it and felt something cold settle in my chest before I even finished reading. "Hi, Marcus. Just wanted to let you know we're not doing gifts for the grandkids this year. Money is really tight, and we just can't afford it. Hope you understand. Love you." I stared at the message for a long time. My coffee sat untouched next to my phone. The overhead light buzzed faintly. I could hear Lily in the next room singing along to a cartoon. I typed back, "I understand. No problem." She sent a red heart emoji. I set the phone down and rubbed my eyes. I felt tired in a way that sleep does not fix. I walked into the living room and sat down next to Lily on the couch. She looked up at me and smiled. I told her that Grandma and Grandpa were not doing presents this year, but that we would still have a really nice Christmas. She nodded and went back to her show. She did not ask why. She did not cry. She just accepted it the way kids do when they trust you to take care of things. I thought that was the end of it. Christmas morning arrived quiet and cold. Snow was falling outside in fat flakes that stuck to the windows and made everything look soft. Lily woke me up at 6:30 by jumping on my bed and yelling that Santa came. Her voice was high and excited and full of the kind of joy that makes your chest hurt in a good way. We went downstairs together, and she tore into the presents I had wrapped the night before. The dollhouse, the colored pencils and sketchbook, the penguin book. She opened each one with her eyes wide and her hands shaking a little. When she finished, she threw her arms around my neck and squeezed so hard I thought my spine might crack. "This is the best Christmas ever, Daddy." I believed her. I really did. We made pancakes together, and she got syrup everywhere. On the counter, on her pajamas, on the chair. I did not care. We watched a movie about a reindeer who wanted to be a dentist. I took pictures of her sitting on the floor surrounded by wrapping paper and new toys. I sent them to the family group chat with my parents and Caroline. I added a caption that said, "Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope your day is great." Mom replied, "Merry Christmas, sweetie." Caroline did not reply. Around 10 in the morning, I was cleaning up the kitchen when my phone buzzed. It was a notification from social media. Caroline had posted a new story. I opened it without thinking much about it. I was just curious, just checking in, just being a brother. The first photo loaded. Tyler, Madison, and Emma were sitting on the floor of Caroline's living room. The Christmas tree was massive and covered in gold ornaments. There were presents everywhere, mountains of them. The kids were smiling so wide their faces looked like they might split. Tyler was holding up a brand new iPad still in the box. Madison had another iPad. Emma had a third one. I scrolled to the next photo. A gaming console, still wrapped in plastic. A PlayStation 5. The box was huge and shiny, and it sat in the middle of the floor like a throne. I scrolled again. A Lego set, the kind that comes in a box the size of a small suitcase. I recognized it because Lily had pointed at it in a store once and said it cost more than our grocery budget. $600. The tag was still visible in the photo. And then I saw the caption. "The kids are spoiled this year. Thank you, Grandma and Grandpa, for making Christmas so magical. We love you so much." The words blurred. My kitchen spun. I read it again. Then again. My hands started shaking. I zoomed in on the photo. There were gift tags on some of the boxes. I could see them. Handwritten. To Tyler, "Love Grandma and Grandpa." To Madison, "Love Grandma and Grandpa." To Emma, "Love Grandma and Grandpa." I heard a small voice behind me. "Daddy, can I see?" Lily had walked into the kitchen holding her penguin book. She stood next to me on her tiptoes trying to see my phone. I tilted the screen down without thinking. She saw the picture. She saw the iPads. She saw the gaming console. She saw the Lego set. She saw her cousins smiling. Her face changed. She looked up at me. Her voice was so small I almost did not hear it. Did I do something wrong? The question hit me like a fist to the stomach. I opened my mouth. No sound came out. I felt my throat close up. My eyes burned. I looked at my daughter. My sweet, kind, 7-year-old daughter who asked me earlier if her presents were enough because she did not want to be greedy. I put my phone face down on the counter. I crouched down so I was eye level with her. "No, baby. You didn't do anything wrong. Not one single thing." She nodded slowly, but I could see she did not believe me. I stood up and looked at my phone again. I opened my banking app. I navigated to scheduled payments. There it was. $1,800. Set to transfer tomorrow morning. December 26th. To my parents. For their mortgage. The mortgage I have been paying for 4 years. I took a screenshot. My hands were still shaking. I opened the family group chat. I attached the screenshot. I typed, "Canceled. Treat it like my gift too." I hit send. After I sent the message, I put my phone face down on the counter and walked away. I did not want to see it. I did not want to watch the little dots appear that meant someone was typing. I did not want to see my mother's name light up the screen. I went back into the living room. Lily was sitting on the floor with her dollhouse. She was arranging tiny furniture inside the tiny rooms. A couch, a bed, a kitchen table. She was humming softly to herself. The same tune from the cartoon earlier. She looked happy. She looked content. She looked like a kid who got everything she wanted for Christmas. But I knew she saw that picture. I knew she saw those iPads and that game console and that massive Lego set. I knew she was old enough to understand what it meant when someone says money is tight and then buys 3 tablets that cost more than my rent. I sat down on the couch and stared at the wall. My mind was blank. Not racing. Not spinning. Just blank. Like someone had turned off all the lights inside my head, and I was sitting in the dark trying to remember what things used to look like. The heater kicked on. The air smelled like the pine candle Lily picked out at the store last week. Outside, the snow kept falling. Silent. Heavy. Piling up on the railings and the cars and the sidewalks until everything looked the same. I thought about the text my mother sent on December 8th. Money is really tight. We just can't afford it. Hope you understand. I thought about the $1,800 I sent every month. For years. $57,600. I did the math in my head without meaning to. That is just the mortgage. That does not count the emergency car repairs, or the credit card payments, or the furnace, or the roof, or the water heater, or the property taxes. I thought about Lily's 6th birthday. I called my parents and reminded them. My mother said she forgot and that she would send a card. The card never came. 2 weeks later, I saw photos on social media of Madison's birthday party. It was at a trampoline park. There were 20 kids. There was a cake shaped like a unicorn. My parents were in the photos. They were smiling. They were wearing party hats. I thought about Thanksgiving 3 years ago. I drove 2 hours to their house with Lily. She was 4 years old. She drew them a picture of a turkey. She was so proud of it. She held it up when we walked in the door. I made this for you, Grandma. My mother looked at it for 2 seconds. That's nice, sweetheart. Then she turned to Caroline and asked about Tyler's soccer tournament. Lily stood there holding the picture. Her little hand started to lower. I took it from her and said we would hang it on our fridge at home. We did. It stayed there for 6 months until the tape gave out, and it fell behind the stove. I thought about all of this, and I did not feel angry. I felt hollow, like someone had scooped out my insides and left just the shell sitting on the couch. I thought about the screenshot I just sent, the canceled payment, the message I typed. Treat it like my gift, too. I wondered if they opened it yet. I wondered what my mother's face looked like when she did. I wondered if she would understand. I wondered if she would even care. My phone buzzed. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. I did not pick it up. I could hear it vibrating against the kitchen counter. Over and over. Like a heartbeat. Like something dying. Lily looked up from her dollhouse. Daddy, your phone is ringing. I know, baby. She went back to her dollhouse. I stayed on the couch. The phone kept buzzing. The calls did not stop. By noon, my phone had 16 missed calls. All from my mother. 3 voicemails. I did not listen to them. I turned my phone off and put it in a drawer. Lily and I spent the afternoon building her dollhouse and watching movies. She fell asleep on the couch around 4. I carried her to her bed and closed the door softly. Then I went into my bedroom and turned my phone back on. The screen lit up. 23 missed calls now. 8 voicemails. 12 text messages. All from my mother. 1 from Caroline. I sat on the edge of my bed and stared at the notifications. I did not open them. Not yet. Instead, I opened my banking app. I went into my transaction history. I started scrolling. December, November, October, September. I kept scrolling. Months and months of payments. $1,800. Every single month. Sometimes more. Emergency payments labeled things like car repair and furnace and hospital copay. I went back further. 2 years. 3 years. For years. I stopped counting after $50,000. I thought about when it started. Really started. I was 23. I had just moved into my first apartment. I was making $42,000 a year and thought I was rich. My dad called and said they were having trouble making the mortgage that month. His hours got cut. My mom's part-time job was not enough. They needed help just this once. I sent $1,000. I ate ramen noodles for 2 weeks. I told myself it was fine. Family helps family. The next month, they needed help again. And the month after that. By the time I was 25, I was sending money every month, and they stopped asking. They just expected it. When I got a raise, they somehow knew. My mother called and said they were thinking about refinancing and could I help with the down payment. I said yes. When I was 28, I met Sarah. She was kind and funny, and she made me feel like I was more than just a paycheck. We dated for a year. We talked about getting married. Then she saw my bank statements. She asked why I was sending so much money to my parents. I told her they needed help. She asked if they ever planned to pay me back. I said it was not like that. Family does not keep score. Marcus, they're using you. I told her she did not understand. We broke up 3 months later. I told my parents about it. That's too bad. She seemed nice. Caroline got married the next year. The wedding cost $40,000. My parents paid for half of it. I was not asked to contribute. I was invited to the wedding. I sat at a table in the back with cousins I had not seen in 10 years. Caroline's maid of honor gave a speech about how supportive and loving our parents were, how they always put their kids first, how they sacrificed everything to make sure Caroline had the wedding of her dreams. I drank 3 glasses of wine and left early. A year after that, Lily was born. Her mother and I were not together anymore. It was complicated. She moved out of state. I got custody. I called my parents and told them they had a granddaughter. That's wonderful, Marcus. Send us pictures. I sent pictures. They never responded. When Lily turned 1, I drove to their house for her birthday. I brought a cake. My parents were there for 20 minutes. They said they had plans with Caroline and the kids. They left. Lily and I ate cake alone in their kitchen. I looked at my phone screen. The voicemails were still there, waiting. I thought about everything I just remembered. Every payment. Every call. Every time I showed up and felt invisible. Every time Caroline got celebrated and I got forgotten. I thought about Lily asking if she did something wrong. I opened the first voicemail. The first voicemail was my mother's voice. High-pitched. Frantic. Marcus, what is this? What are you talking about? Call me back right now. This is not funny. I deleted it. I played the second one. Marcus, I don't understand why you're being like this. We need to talk. Call me. Please. Deleted. Third voicemail. You can't just cancel a mortgage payment. Do you understand what that means? We could lose the house. Call me back. I sat there holding my phone. My hands were steady now. I was not shaking anymore. I felt cold. Clear. I played the fourth voicemail. Marcus, this is childish. If you're upset about something, we can talk about it like adults. But you can't just cut us off. That's not how family works. That is not how family works. I almost laughed. I deleted the voicemail and opened the text messages. The first one was from my mother. What is going on? Why did you send that? Second message. Marcus, answer your phone. Third message. I don't know what you think you're proving, but this is serious. The payment is due tomorrow. You can't just stop paying. Fourth message. Caroline told me you're upset about Christmas. I don't understand. I told you we couldn't afford gifts this year. What does that have to do with the mortgage? I stared at that message. I read it 3 times. She really did not understand. She really thought those two things were separate. I opened my photos. I found the screenshot of Caroline's story, the iPads, the gaming console, the Lego set, the caption thanking Grandma and Grandpa. I sent it to my mother. No message, just the screenshot. 3 dots appeared immediately. She was typing. The dots disappeared. Appeared again. Disappeared. 5 minutes passed. Then a message came through. Caroline's husband helped pay for some of that. I felt something snap inside my chest. I typed back. The tags say Grandma and Grandpa. 3 dots. Then, we gave them money as a family gift. They used it how they wanted. My fingers moved fast across the screen. You told me you couldn't afford gifts for the grandkids. That means all the grandkids, not just Caroline's. 3 dots. Longer this time. It's more complicated than that. Caroline needed help this year. Brendan's hours got cut. I typed. My daughter asked if she did something wrong. No dots. No response. I waited. 1 minute. 2 minutes. 5 minutes. Then my phone rang. My mother. I answered. Her voice came through sharp. Marcus, you need to stop being so sensitive. This isn't about you. You're right. It's not about me. It's about Lily. It's about you telling me you couldn't afford gifts and then spending hundreds of dollars on Caroline's kids. We see Caroline's kids all the time. We wanted to do something special for them. You've seen Lily 6 times in 7 years. Silence. Then, that's because you live further away. I live 40 minutes away. Caroline lives 20. That's not an excuse. Marcus, I don't have time for this. Are you going to send the mortgage payment or not? No. Her voice went higher. What do you mean, no? I mean, I'm not sending it. I'm done. You can't be serious. We'll lose the house. You should have thought about that before you spent gift money on everyone except my daughter. This is completely different. The mortgage has nothing to do with Christmas. It has everything to do with Christmas. It has everything to do with the last 4 years. It has everything to do with you treating me like an ATM and Caroline like royalty. I don't treat you like an ATM. I'm your mother. Then act like Lily's grandmother. Silence. Long and cold. Then she spoke again. You're going to regret this. I already regret the last $57,000. What? That's how much I've sent you. I did the math. She did not respond. I could hear her breathing. Fast and shallow. Find another bank account. I hung up. After I hung up, I sat on my bed for a long time. My phone stayed silent. No calls. No texts. Nothing. The house was quiet except for the heater and the sound of snow hitting the windows. I stood up and walked into my home office. It is really just the second bedroom with a desk and a filing cabinet. I turned on the desk lamp and opened my laptop. I logged into my banking app on the computer. Bigger screen. Easier to see everything. I opened a spreadsheet. I started a new document. I labeled the columns. Date. Description. Amount. I went back into my transaction history and started copying every single payment I ever sent to my parents. December 2024. Mortgage. $1,800. November 2024. Mortgage. $1,800. October 2024. Mortgage. $1,800. Emergency car repair. $600. I kept going. Months and months. I did not stop. My fingers moved across the keyboard. Copy. Paste. Copy. Paste. The numbers grew. The spreadsheet filled. By the time I reached 2020, I had 40 rows of data. I added a formula at the bottom. Total amount sent. I hit enter. $62,400. I stared at the number. I had guessed $57,000 earlier. I was wrong. It was more. So much more. I leaned back in my chair. My office felt smaller. The walls felt closer. I thought about what I could have done with $62,000. I could have bought a house. I could have put Lily through years of private school. I could have saved it. I could have invested it. I could have done anything except give it to people who forgot my daughter's birthday. I saved the spreadsheet. I took screenshots. I saved those too. Then I opened my email. I searched for messages from my parents. I found dozens. Hundreds. Most of them were short. Can you send the mortgage payment? Did you send the transfer? We need help with the electric bill. I scrolled through years of messages. I took screenshots of the ones that showed need. The ones where they asked for help. The ones where they said they could not afford things. I created a folder. I labeled it evidence. I put everything inside. Bank statements. Screenshots. Emails. I saved it all. Then I did something else. I opened social media. I went to Caroline's profile. I scrolled back. Months and months of posts. Photos of her kids. Photos of family dinners. Photos of vacations and birthday parties and holidays. I saw my parents in so many of them. Smiling. Hugging. Holding Caroline's kids. I took screenshots of those too. I went to my own profile. I scrolled back. There were fewer posts. I do not post much, but there were some. Photos of Lily. Photos of us at the park. Photos of her birthday. I looked at the comments. My parents never commented. Not once. Caroline never commented. Not once. I created a second folder. I labeled it family. I saved everything. I looked at the clock. It was almost 10 at night. Lily was asleep. The house was dark except for my office. I opened a blank document. I started typing. I did not know what I was typing at first. It just came out. A letter. To my parents. I wrote about every time I felt invisible. Every time I sent money and got no thank you. Every time I showed up and felt unwanted. Every time Caroline got celebrated and I got ignored. Every time Lily got forgotten. I wrote about Christmas morning. About Lily's question. About the screenshot I sent. About the phone call. About my mother saying I was being sensitive. About her saying it was complicated. About her saying she did not have time for this. I wrote about the $62,000. I wrote about the mortgage payments I would no longer send. I wrote about the boundaries I was setting. I wrote about the relationship I no longer wanted. I wrote for an hour. When I finished, the letter was 3 pages long. I read it back. I edited nothing. I saved it. I did not send it. Not yet. I closed my laptop. I turned off the lamp. I sat in the dark. My phone buzzed. I looked at the screen. A text from Caroline. The first message she had sent since I posted the screenshot. You're being ridiculous. Mom is devastated. I turned my phone face down. I did not respond. I walked out of my office. I checked on Lily. She was asleep. Her penguin book was on her nightstand. Her dollhouse was on the floor next to her bed. She looked peaceful. I went to my own bed. I did not sleep. The next morning came gray and cold. December 26th. The day the mortgage payment was supposed to transfer. I woke up at 6. I made coffee. I checked my phone. 14 new messages. All from my mother. I did not read them. I opened my banking app. I looked at the scheduled payments section. The $1,800 transfer was still canceled. Red text. Payment stopped. I took another screenshot. Lily woke up at 7. We made breakfast. Pancakes again. She asked if we could play with her dollhouse. We spent the morning on the living room floor arranging furniture and making up stories about the people who lived there. She said the family had a dog and a cat, and they all loved each other very much. Around 10, my phone rang. Not my mother this time. Caroline. I let it ring. She called again. I ignored it. A text came through. Answer your phone. I did not respond. Another text. You're hurting Mom and Dad. You need to fix this. I typed back. They hurt Lily. I'm done. 3 dots appeared. Then, Lily is fine. Stop being dramatic. I felt my jaw tighten. Lily asked if she did something wrong. That's not fine. Caroline typed back fast. Maybe if you didn't live so far away and actually made an effort, they'd see her more. I stared at that message. I took a screenshot. I saved it. I did not respond. Another message came through. Also, you can't just stop paying the mortgage. That's not legal. You co-signed. I can stop payments anytime. I'm not obligated to keep paying. You'll ruin their credit. They ruined my daughter's Christmas. Oh my God, Marcus. Grow up. I did not respond. I put my phone down. I played with Lily. We had lunch. We watched another movie. Around 2 in the afternoon, my phone rang again. My mother. I answered. She did not say hello. The bank called. They said the payment didn't go through. I know. Marcus, you have to send it. The late fee is $200. That's not my problem anymore. Her voice cracked. How can you say that? After everything we've done for you. What have you done for me? Silence. Then, we raised you. We gave you a home. I'm 36. That was your job. I've been supporting your home for 4 years. You offered to help. You asked. I said yes because I thought that's what family did. It is what family does. Then treat Lily like family. We do. You forgot her birthday. I told you I was sorry about that. You've seen her 6 times in 7 years. We're busy. You see Caroline's kids every weekend. That's different. How? Silence. Long and uncomfortable. Then her voice dropped. Marcus, please. We'll lose the house. You spent hundreds of dollars on iPads and a game console. Sell those. Those were gifts. You told me you couldn't afford gifts. We couldn't afford gifts for everyone. You mean you couldn't afford gifts for Lily? Stop twisting my words. I'm not twisting anything. You made a choice. You chose Caroline's kids over mine. Now I'm making a choice. I'm choosing Lily over you. Her voice went cold. You're going to regret this, Marcus. I already told you. I regret the $62,000 I've sent you. What? I have records. Bank statements. Emails. Screenshots. Every single payment I've ever sent you. Do you want me to send them to Caroline? To the family group chat? To everyone? Her voice dropped to a whisper. You wouldn't. Try me. Silence. Then I spoke again. I'm done, Mom. Don't call me. Don't text me. Don't come to my house. You made it clear where I stand. Now you know where you stand. You can't cut us off. We're your parents. Lily is your granddaughter. I hung up. I blocked her number. I blocked my father's number. I blocked Caroline's number. I opened the family group chat. I left it. I opened social media. I unfriended all of them. I sat on my couch. Lily was playing with her dollhouse. She looked up at me. Who were you talking to, Daddy? Nobody important. She smiled and went back to playing. 3 weeks passed. January arrived cold and clear. The snow stopped falling. The streets were plowed. Life went back to normal. Or maybe it was a new normal. I was not sure yet. I did not hear from my parents. I did not hear from Caroline. The silence was strange at first. I kept expecting my phone to ring. Kept expecting an email or a text or something. But nothing came. After a while, I stopped checking. I stopped waiting. I heard through a cousin that my parents refinanced again. They got a loan modification. Lower payments. They sold Caroline's old car that they were storing in their garage. They cut back on expenses. They figured it out. They always do. People like that always land on their feet. I also heard that Caroline was upset. She told family members that I abandoned our parents. That I was selfish. That I chose money over family. Some people believed her. Some people reached out to me. I did not respond to any of them. I was done explaining myself. Lily and I started new routines. We went to the park on Saturday mornings. We tried new restaurants for dinner. We went to the library every Wednesday, and she picked out books. She stopped asking about her grandparents. She stopped asking about her cousins. She just moved forward the way kids do. Light and unburdened. One Saturday afternoon in late January, we were at the park. Lily was on the swings. I was sitting on a bench nearby. My phone buzzed. A message from a number I did not recognize. I opened it. "This is your father. Your mother wants to talk. Please call." I stared at the message. I thought about responding. I thought about calling. I thought about hearing my mother's voice again. About maybe working things out. About maybe finding a way to fix it. Then I thought about Lily asking if she did something wrong. I thought about the iPads and the game console and the Lego set. I thought about the $62,000. I thought about years of feeling invisible. I thought about my daughter's 7th birthday when no card came. I deleted the message. I blocked the number. I put my phone in my pocket. I watched Lily swing higher and higher. She was laughing. Her hair was flying behind her. She looked free. She jumped off the swing at the highest point and landed in the snow. She stood up and brushed herself off and ran over to me. "Did you see that, Daddy?" I flew. "I saw. You were amazing." She hugged me. Then she ran back to the swings. I sat there and watched her play. The sun was shining. The air was cold, but not bitter. I felt something I had not felt in a long time. Peace. Real peace. The kind that comes from knowing you made the right choice, even if it was the hard choice. That night, after Lily went to bed, I opened my laptop. I pulled up the letter I wrote 3 weeks ago, the one I never sent. I read it again. 3 pages of everything I ever wanted to say, everything I ever felt, everything I ever needed them to know. I saved a copy. Then I deleted the original. I did not need to send it anymore. I did not need them to understand. I did not need closure from them. I had my own closure. I had Lily. I had my life. I had my peace. I closed my laptop. I walked into Lily's room. She was asleep with her penguin book on her chest. I picked it up carefully and set it on her nightstand. I pulled her blanket up to her chin. I kissed her forehead. I whispered, "You didn't do anything wrong, baby. Not one single thing." She did not hear me. She was dreaming. I walked out and closed the door softly. I went to my own room. I got into bed. I turned off the light. For the first time in years, I fell asleep without worrying about a phone call or a text message or a payment due. I was free to see.